few days ago, I put out a video called Diversify or Else. And the catalyst to that video was that my YouTube revenue had dropped significantly. And I had reached out to YouTube, like Google Help, to find out what was going on with that. And because of the responses that I got, I thought it was something that was just happening to me. But because I am not the kind of person that will just sit back and let life happen, I started doing a little more digging, and it turns out that this is a problem that is happening to multiple content creators. And I'm creating this video to share the information that I have found out from different sources and to share it with you, because I know a lot of you that watch me also have YouTube channels, and this seems to be affecting smaller channels from what I've been seeing. I have a very different, I didn't consider myself a smaller channel, but I guess because I have under 1 million views, I'm a smaller channel. So I guess it's all point of view, but either way, it's affecting my pocketbook. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I wanted to show you my metrics, which is like crazy for what's happening to my channel. A lot of creators are making 90% less than they have been. And I would say mine is between 75% to 90% less than normal. So I'll start with my metrics, and I will talk about those and why it is so mind-boggling. And then my 2 experiences talking with the YouTube help. No help, I should say. So it is supposedly a bug, but it isn't a bug. But that is based on the YouTube Liaison's Twitter feed. YouTube Liaison in August 26th, so not even a full month ago, said invalid traffic is not a bug, it's a real issue. I don't comment on it much on social because the abuse is highly adversarial, but I've personally escalated it within YouTube and Google AdSense and have been working with the teams for months, including on this updated article like this. Anyone seeing a notification in Studio should read the article as closely as possible. It explains invalid traffic and most of the questions I see here, and contact creator support to get a case opened. Well, here's my story. Are you ready? So first of all, here are my metrics. And I would like to share with you guys, especially if you're new to my channel, I stopped pretty much, as you can see with my metrics, I stopped making videos right around mid-April. I was making multiple videos a week, and I would say actually more like mid-March, because we were going through a big move, a giant transition. So as you can see on my metrics here, from mid-March until like July, even into August, I maybe had made, 2 videos in April and 2 videos in the whole month of May, maybe 1 in June. And my metrics, my profit went down a little bit. But when I got my feet under me after our move and everything, and I started making videos again, you can see here around July, August, pardon me, I started making videos more regularly. And things were okay until there in August, where you can see a dramatic drop after I started making videos again, which is mind-boggling to me, which was why I was like, what's going on here? I would have understood if my revenue had dropped significantly when I wasn't making anything, but it has dropped significantly while I'm making videos. And that whole stretch where I wasn't doing anything on my channel, making any videos, everything was fine. So when I noticed this, at first I got the little notification in my Creator Studio that there was invalid traffic, and I didn't do too much about it. And like a lot of the other people I'm seeing, as soon as they started seeing it hit their revenue, they reached out to YouTube or Google support. My first interaction with the Google chat, there's no phone, nobody I could call, it's all through chat. My first interaction didn't go well. At first, the person told me there's nothing on your account. There's no alerts on your account. There's no flags on your account. But if you see there's a problem with your AdSense, well, you can open a case if you want to. And basically, this is just what happens, that the CPMs and RPMs adjust, they fluctuate, and this is just one of those normal fluctuations. Even though I explained to her, but wait a minute, I have been on a big break and it didn't fluctuate. Like, it fluctuated a little, but not to this huge extent. And she was like, that's just the nature of YouTube, basically, was the response I got. So I put in a request to have my account reviewed, and the response I got back was, your claim has been denied because you're not, basically it was like, we haven't taken your AdSense away. Because you still have AdSense, you haven't been, basically, what do they call it? They haven't taken it away from you. So if you lost your AdSense account or you've been blocked from having AdSense, then okay, you can open a case. And I was like, well, dang, there's nothing I can do. So I waited a little while, and because I continued to see it happening, I was like, this is God, there has to be an answer to this. I don't understand. And I remember, because I had seen that alert and I kept looking around for it, trying to find it again. It was gone off my screen. So I couldn't figure out where to go, what to do. So I reached out again. This time the person was like, oh yes, I do see that there's a flag on your account for invalid traffic, and so you need to stop. And I was like, well, I'm not doing anything. Well, you need to figure out what's causing it, basically, was the response. I was like, well, can you point me in the right direction? No, they couldn't tell me where or how or anything. And then that's where I got in the other video, I was like, something is sabotaging my account, some kind of plugin or whatever. And so because the person on the YouTube chat, Google chat, told me, well, if you're not doing anything, another thing to consider is, has anybody had access to your account that could have gotten in, or if you know somebody that would be sabotaging your account by trying to do this to you. And I'm thinking, no, but how would I know? And how would I control that? And how can I make sure this doesn't happen? I was asking her all these questions, and she's like, that's just troubleshooting you're going to have to do on your own. What? So she said, okay, well, go open up a case. I said, okay, well, stay on the chat. I'm going to open the case so you can tell me exactly what I need to put in there. When I went to open a case, it said, sorry, you already have a case open. I said, what do I do here? It says I already have a case open, but I explained the whole situation where it told me I couldn't open a case. She was like, oh yeah, I do see you have a case open. And yeah, so you can't open another case until the 28th of September. It has to be full, 30 days later. I was like, well, I don't understand. Because it's this loop of, well, sorry, you can't open a case because you still are getting ad money, and then you didn't open it. I mean, you get it. It's just down the rabbit hole. So I started doing some research after that conversation, because I was on till 1 a.m. with that person, because I was so adamant, we are going to get this figured out. We're going to solve this problem. I wasn't ugly. I wasn't rude, but I was like, you and me, lady, we're going to take care of this. We're going to figure this out. We're going to solve this problem. No, we didn't solve the problem. Anyway, I was determined, we're not stopping until we figure out what's going on here. No. So she pointed me to this article, which I read, and it was basically invalid traffic on your videos. It's a Google support, basically article. How it affects your earnings and what it could be and blah, blah, blah. And don't partner with people. And it was all of these things, don't click on your own ads and don't tell people to click on, none of the things that I do. Probably none of the things you do either if you're watching this video. And then I thought, okay, you know what? I want to find out in the community chat, because it's another thing you can do is check the community and see what the community forum has to say about it. Cool. I thought, let me just go see if this is something else people are experiencing. I went to the community forum, and guess what? That whole thread has been blocked from having any responses to it. So it just kind of takes you into this loop, right? So breaking down invalid traffic. So this is on the community tab. There's a whole article. I'll link them all down here. What do we do? How do we address it? Blah, blah, blah. And then it says this question has been locked and replying has been disabled, right? So there's nothing you can really do. You can read this Google Ads, article just back and forth and back and forth. I did find one person in June who explained what was going on, same thing, and then that one was locked too. So that whole thread was locked from having anybody respond to it. So the thing that's, I think, most frustrating is that clearly they know that there's a problem here. You know, the YouTube Twitter feed, I can't think of his name now, but the YouTube liaison on Twitter explained that they knew it was a problem and it wasn't a bug. There's even an article in Forbes magazine back in March of this year about this very problem. So I've watched a few different videos from different people, and some of the speculations that people are making in some of the videos I've watched is that YouTube was trying to roll out shorts too fast, and that they were trying to compete with TikTok, and that it tanked, and it didn't, like, they threw all their eggs in the shorts basket and it wasn't working out, and they were trying to recoup lost money. And so that one of the ways that they're like recouping money, these are theories that I've heard out there, is that they are kind of targeting their own creators, kind of cannibalizing back some of that money. And if that's true, that's no good. Another thing that somebody suggested was that if you have multiple YouTube channels, that perhaps this is a problem that you're causing on your own, which I do. I have this channel, Texas Gal Treasures. I've got Margaret Love. I've got Homeschool Honey. I've got multiple channels. I started a channel with my sister, Lay Luminary. And that if you are, let's say I put up a video on Homeschool Honey, and I decide that, oh, you know what, I need to go check that video and see if it's running correctly or whatever, and I'm logged into Texas Gal Treasures and I go watch, then that would cause an invalid traffic because it was coming from one of my other channels. Like I was trying to cheat the system. I don't, like, that seems unlikely to me because, one, it's so rare that I do that, and two, it would be like one little click and I would watch for a few minutes to check it, and I'm not sitting down watching the whole dang thing again. I already watched it when I edited it, right? Another channel suggested that if you create videos, you may eventually, like if you go search, like a Google search for you or for some of your videos, I did this after, is that there are websites that are created, and this person's just happened to be in the Philippines. There are people in, say, the Philippines that are creating websites to drive ad money, and they take YouTube videos and they're creating a web page and they're using YouTube videos in that way. I don't even exactly understand how it works, but this person noticed a spike on one of their videos that was from a website that was using his video from the Philippines. And then one of the ways, there was like a thing you can turn off. I'll show you in a second. And then another person was, that's what this is, disabling embedding. So if you go through and you disable the ability for people to embed your videos without meeting certain criteria, then that's a way. So I did that just to see, like, maybe it'll work. I don't know. And then somebody else mentioned that possibly it had to do with having affiliate links in your description box, but I don't think that's it either, because I don't feel like that has, one thing doesn't have to do with the other. Personally, I don't think that's it. So if you're interested, I'm going to show you how to disable embedding videos real quick, and then I'll get off my rant. So if you want to disable embedding videos, then you'll go to settings, go to channel, and then advanced settings. And then when you scroll down in advanced settings, you can say only let linked accounts use this channel's videos as ads. So this way people can't embed your videos to linked accounts. Anyway, so whether that's it or not, I have no idea. I've never turned that off before, but I figured after this big drop in my revenue when I started making videos again, it was just mind-boggling. So it'll be really interesting to see where this goes. If you have this problem, leave a comment down below. If you have heard anything else about this problem, what it was, they're just being so like tight-lipped about it, I think is making it even more suspicious that they know what's going on, but they're just not addressing it. Because I feel like if it was truly like a bug or a problem that was not something that they're familiar, like they would say, hey, you guys, they would put something out on the creator forum or on your creator page. You see those little banners all the time if you're making videos. They would put something out like, hey, we understand that this is a problem. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. You know, hang tight, don't lose faith. It's tough because there are creators out there that this is their form of income, and they worked really hard to, say, leave their 9-to-5 job to be creators, and they've worked really hard to get to this point. And luckily, you know, I have diversified my income. It slipped a little bit as I shared in that other video, but this has been a big eye opener for me, and it's really made me think about other ways to start diversifying my income as well. And because I love YouTube, I love it because it has truly changed my life. And I'd hate to think that YouTube would know or knowingly, you know, deceive their creators, people that are, you know, working so hard to build something and to build YouTube into what it is, because without the creators, there is no YouTube, right? So we'll see what happens. And yeah, I will update you if I find or see or hear anything else that would lead to a solution, because ultimately that's where this needs to go. I would hate to think that, like I said, YouTube is knowingly doing this. I'd hate to think that they were trying to recoup money, because then that could turn into a whole situation of, like, you know, class action lawsuits type of thing, which would be horrible for the company, horrible for the creators, horrible for everything and everybody. So hopefully they find a way to figure this out and at least address it, because I think that's so frustrating, you know, when people are having issues and they know, they have to know. My goodness knows how many people are reaching out to Google AdSense and reaching out to YouTube about this problem, enough so that they've disabled comments on these community threads, which is not cool, because it's a real problem and people would like to at least see, hey, you guys, you're not alone. This is happening too. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.